Hey, thank you so much, Jerry and Joanne. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now, I am going to teach you how to make a delicious, authentic Irish soda bread. Mine have 2 ingredients which you might or might not think to put in your soda bread, but we're going to elevate it to the next level. So I'm not sure if you guys know that, but if I asked a question such as, who created the Irish soda bread? Normally people would say, the Irish did. But you want to know something? It was actually the Native Americans. They figured out by using pearl ash how to be able to use that to be able to make their dough rise without using yeast. This I would call an easy bread, a quick bread, because there's no yeast to have to make us wait long for it. So if you're really hungry and you want to put together a delicious Irish soda bread, this is the one for you. So into my bowl, we're going to be putting 4 cups of all-purpose flour. We did the spoon and level method. So 4 cups going in. I'm going to do myself, get some sugar. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now, this recipe, as I mentioned to you, does not contain yeast. With that in mind, we're using 2 leavening agents. We're going to use some baking powder and some baking soda. Both are important. So the actual baking powder part, guys, is going to be 1½ teaspoons. We measured. All right, so 1½ teaspoons baking powder. Right now, for my salt, I'm using pink Himalayan salt, and it calls for a full teaspoon. But again, I'm not going there. I'm going to be doing about 1/2. Just enough, because when you do baking, salt really is a flavor enhancer. But I think 1/2 teaspoon is going to really be all that I need. So this is going to be my baking soda. 1 teaspoon, and this is a critical part of the recipe, guys, because the baking soda and the buttermilk are going to have a great chemical reaction, and that's how we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful leavening. This is the equivalent of what the Native Americans did with their pearl ash. Okay. So I guess what I can do, I'll use my whisk just to kind of get everything combined. Nice. Okay. Now comes the butter. I'm looking for 5 tablespoons. Going right in. So I'm going to use my pastry blender, and the goal is to be able to make pea-sized pieces of my butter into my flour. Just really get in there. It's okay. We have done it. Now, this is the majority of the hard work. I also want to now add in some of my caraway seeds. All right, caraway is in. Okay. Get that mixed up. 1 egg. Okay, always have a garbage bowl handy, which I have right here. Egg goes right in to my buttermilk. So it's 1 1/3 cups of buttermilk and an egg. Love it. Okay. I'm going to be making a little well in the middle. Now, let's get everything mixed. The last ingredient to go in will be my raisins. So one thing you never want to do when you work with doughs, you never want to overwork them, because the whole point of doing a dough like this is you want to be able to have a wonderful crispy exterior, and you want to be able to have a delicious chewy interior. So it's 1 cup of raisins. Fold it in, scrape it down, and make sure all the powder on the bottom is mixed in. Now this is what we call a shaggy dough. It's not a terribly cohesive dough yet, but it's a shaggy dough. Okay. get some of this guy off. Now, clearly, nothing feels more delicious than your hands. My friends, we have dough. Nice. Now, something that you definitely need to do, which is part superstition and part science. We want to make an X, about an inch or so, which will help us to be able to make sure that the dough itself doesn't split in any crazy way. But for the actual superstitious way, it's to let the fairies out. All right, guys, 350 degrees, 60 minutes. I'll be right back. Hey, everybody, 60 minutes later, and look what we have. Check out the bottom as well. Golden and delicious. So before you cut it up, you want to let it cool. I have it cooling on a cooling rack. And now, the moment of truth. Listen to that crunch. Woohoo! Now that's what I'm talking about. And I'm going to make a nice thick slice. Oh yeah, baby. And I'm definitely going to be using a little bit of my Kerrygold butter that we used in our baking. It's nice and soft. Check out how yellow this is compared to your average butter. Here we go. Oh, look at this. It's like melting into it. All right. The moment of truth. Oh, that looks so good. Wow. Crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, a little bit sweet with the sugar, lovely raisins. I have a little bit of crunch to it. Caraway seeds. I have that nostalgic little bent from my Brooklyn days. This is so delicious. And you know what, guys? It was easy to make. It is a quick bread, and this is delicious. So I want to wish everyone a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. So thank you so much for letting Chef Paula in Cooking with Stars brighten up your day with a St. Patrick's treat. Bye-bye, everybody.